the Waco investigation. Charges that the National Rifle Association is helping to run the congressional hearings. America's worst heat wave in 15 years, and the death toll is still rising. And the O.J. Simpson trial. More potentially damaging testimony from Simpson's own doctor.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Good evening. In Washington tonight, they're asking the question, have the gun lobby and its Republican allies in Congress shot themselves in the foot? Here's the reason the question is being asked. For days, Democrats, among others, have insisted that the leadership of the National Rifle Association and private armed militia groups are using congressional hearings this week into the disastrous raid near Waco as a smokescreen to bash federal law enforcement officers, President Clinton, and the new law controlling rapid-fire assault weapons. Now, the Democrats say there is proof. Correspondent Jim Stewart has the story and the tape recording cited as evidence.
It was this phone message that started the latest fireworks.
I'm with the Waco hearing team that is working on putting together the Waco hearings.
It was enough to convince Joyce Sparks she was talking with a congressional staff member who wanted her to testify at hearings starting Wednesday on the 1993 Texas siege.
The way she put her words together, I just assumed that she was part of the Waco team because that's what she said.
But the caller wasn't a House aide. She was a researcher for the National Rifle Association, which Democrats in the White House today accused of trying to hijack the hearings.
This whole investigation is beginning to reek of deception and of impropriety.
This is an organization that has an agenda, has very determined views on issues related to gun ownership.
The NRA today defended its private investigation of Waco, calling it a duty, and accused the Clinton administration of withholding information on what happened there. Previously, NRA consultants, with Republican help, tried to examine the remains of weapons seized from the Branch Davidian compound. Now, Democrats charge that the NRA-Republican partnership in the hearings is just an attempt to roll back recent gun control laws the NRA opposes and pay back the NRA for big campaign contributions. Of the 27 members of the Joint Waco Committee, the NRA has given 10 Republicans more than $85,000 since 1993, while 3 Democrats got less than $12,000. Critics on both sides now worry the gun lobby's constant meddling will polarize the hearings to the point that no one will be able to get to the bottom of the most fouled-up law enforcement raid in the history of the country. Jim Stewart, CBS News, Washington.
And this is just for starters on a tough week ahead for President Clinton and his agenda. From another offensive wave on Whitewater to a sweeping rollback of federal regulations on health, safety, and the environment, it's a political carpet bombing attack, wall-to-wall, House to Senate. CBS News Chief Washington correspondent Bob Schieffer is here now to run down the players and the scorecard. Bob?
Well, Dan, if the president had just joined a college fraternity, this would be called Hell Week, and Democrats are bracing for the worst.
Well, the temperature outside is some indication of what the political temperature inside is going to be.
It is so hot outside you can see it, but that's not the half of it for Mr. Clinton. Tomorrow, Republicans use this Capitol chamber to delve again into his long-ago investment in the ill-fated Whitewater, Arkansas land deal. With the president's good friend Webster Hubbell, the former Justice Department official, now headed to prison on embezzlement charges as the first witness, it will be embarrassing at the least. It may be even rougher as investigators focus on what happened at the White House the night another aide, Vince Foster, committed suicide, and whether officials had feared a link to Whitewater and tried to cover it up.
But there is a real question as to what happened after Vince Foster died. Who authorized the removal of the papers, the question of the suicide note and how it was found, the manner in which this whole thing was handled.
All that as House Republicans begin hearings Wednesday on the storming of the Branch Davidian compound near Waco and whether a bad decision by the Clinton Justice Department cost lives there.